Hi, welcome to math. I am your teacher, Mr. Fitzgibbons. Just kidding. I'm getting ready for April Fools. I'm your teacher, Mr. McD, as you know. For today's math lesson, you are going to need a pencil. I would like for you to have a pencil because you're going to need to erase things. If you don't have a pencil, okay, you can use something else, but try your hardest to find a pencil. Some kind of cup. I picked a Tervis cup or a cup that has a medium-sized circle to it. A piece of paper, and if you have one, a ruler. If you don't have a ruler, something with a straight edge, which means an edge that has a perfect line to it, okay? So you need those four things: a cup, a pencil, a piece of paper, and a ruler or a straight edge, okay? So we are going to continue our learning about the clock and its parts. Let's review the clock. What is this part of the clock called? Good, its face. Very good, very good. What are these around the clock? You should all know this. Good, the numbers. How many numbers are there? 12, very good. What number's at the top? Good, the number 12. What number's at the bottom? Good, the number 6. I'm going to give you a tricky question. I did not tell you this, but if you look at the clock, you might be able to tell me the answer. What number is to the right of the clock? What number's on the right side of the clock? Good, 3. And what number's on the left side of the clock? Good, number 9. I call those anchor numbers, because if you put those numbers where they're supposed to be, you'll be able to fill in all the other numbers. So they kind of anchor, they hold things down. What else do you have on the clock besides the face and the numbers? What else helps us tell time? Good, the hands of the clock. We have two hands. We have a short hand and a long hand. What's the short hand called? Very good, the hour hand. And it tells the hour, tells what hour we're on. What's the long hand called? Very good, the minute hand. And what does it do? It tells the minutes. Excellent. You guys are amazing. You're like little super geniuses that are going to rule the world someday. Just make sure that, you take care of me. All right. So here what we're going to do today is we're just going to create simple clocks. We're not going to worry about telling time or anything. We're just going to start practicing how to draw a clock, okay? So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your cup and you're going to place it over. And notice that I'm putting my cup in the corner of my paper so I have space, because if I put it up here in the middle, I'm taking up more space than I need to. If I put it here, then I have more space to create more and more clocks. That's Oliver telling us to definitely put your cup in the corner. All right. So there's my circle. Now you have a couple options. If you have the ruler straight edge, my suggestion would be to use it. And the best you can, put your ruler halfway through your circle. The best you can. Now, is that halfway? No. Is that halfway? It's getting closer. Is that halfway? That looks pretty darn close to me. Very lightly, you're going to draw a line through your circle. See how, and look how light it is. You can almost probably barely see it. It's very light. With that, I'm going to draw a nice dark line there and a line there, which are called ticks. So see the little ticks? And then anything else, I'm just going to erase. This is why we need a pencil. So I have 2 tick marks, one at the top, one at the bottom. The next thing I'm going to do is now I'm going to find half the circle through the middle, from side to side. And that looks about halfway. And again, I'm going to draw a very light line. And I'm going to do my dark ticks. And then I'm going to erase the rest. Okay. So I have one at the top, one on the right side, one on the bottom, one on the left. And I'm going to pick it up so you can see it. So one on the top, one on the right, one on the bottom, one on the left. Okay. Now I know, now I'm gonna draw like this because I can take my cup and my ruler away because I am finished with them. Now, what I'm doing is I'm creating my clock. So this tick represents the 12. This tick represents the 3. This tick represents the 6. And this tick represents the 9. The reason I'm doing that, I'll show you why in a minute. So what I'm going to do then is under the ticks, or next to them, under this tick, I'm going to write 12 because 12 is always at the top. I'm going to write 3 here because 3 is always to the side. 6 here because 6 is always on the bottom. And 9 here because 9 is always on the left side. Sorry, 3 is always on the right side. Now, the trick is to know that there are always 2 numbers between the anchor numbers. So there's always going to be 2 numbers between 12 and 3, 2 numbers between 3 and 6, 2 numbers between 6 and 9, and 2 numbers between 9 and 12. What 2 numbers do you think come between 12 and 3? Yell it out, please. Good. 1 and 2. So I am not going to use a rule or anything, and I'm just going to draw ticks to my best ability. See how I just kind of spread them out? They're not perfect, and it's 1 and 2. Okay, and see how 2 is kind of close to 3? If I'm a perfectionist, which you know Mr. McDee is a little bit, I'm going to close it up. Just spread it out a little bit. So there's 1 and 2. What do you think comes between 3 and 6? Which 2 numbers? Good. 4 and 5. So I'm going to write 4 and 5. Which 2 numbers come between 6 and 9? Good. 7 and 8. And which 2 numbers between 9 and 12? Good. 10 and 11. And there you have a clock started. And you could put a little dot in the middle. That's all I want you to practice doing today. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. That's all you have to do. And I want you to send me a picture of your clock that you practice. If it doesn't look quite like mine, that's okay, but I want you to try to look as close to this as you can. This is what I don't want it to look like. Try to go as quick as I can so I can show you an example of what not to do. Because this is the most common thing I see. This will not work. This one will not work. Your 12 and 6, your 12 has to be at the top and your 6 has to be at the bottom. Your 3 has to be to the right and your 9 has to be at the left to be anchored. It has to be. So your job today is to practice drawing that clock and making it perfect. You don't have to worry about trying to do the time or anything, just creating the clock. If you want to challenge yourself, you can start creating times and telling me what time it is below the clock and sending me pictures of that if you need a challenge. That would be awesome. That concludes today's math. Until next time, I will see you soon. Bye.